A sweeping view of the American colonies in 1765. Ships dock at bustling ports while towns hum with activity. Beneath this calm surface, unease brews among the colonists. By 1765, the relationship with the British Crown was fraying. The colonies, thriving yet independent, chafed under British rule. In London, British Parliament debates fervently. Chancellor George Grenville rises to speak. He unveils the Stamp Act, imposing a direct tax on the American colonies. Britain, burdened by war debts, seeks financial relief from its colonies. Parliament passes the Stamp Act in March 1765. Colonists must buy stamped paper for legal documents, newspapers, and pamphlets. Even playing cards are taxed, nearly every piece of printed material. The camera moves to a colonial printing shop. The printer examines the first sheet of stamped paper with a scowl. Outside, a crowd gathers, murmuring as news of the Stamp Act spreads. The response was swift and furious. The Crown levied a direct tax, bypassing elected assemblies. To the colonists, this was taxation without representation. The Stamp Act sparked a firestorm of protest. In a Boston tavern, Samuel Adams and John Hancock meet in secret. The room is filled with smoke and heated debate. Outside, Sons of Liberty prepare for a demonstration. They organize protests and rallies, sometimes turning violent. Effigies of British officials were burned and stamp distributors harassed. The colonies began to unite against a common enemy. The camera shifts to a hall in New York City, where delegates from 9 colonies convene, the first unified meeting of the American colonies. The men, dressed in the fashion of the day, engage in spirited debate before drafting a formal petition to the king. Representatives from 9 colonies gathered to draft a declaration of rights and grievances, asserting that only their own elected assemblies had the legal authority to levy taxes. It was a clear and forceful statement of colonial opposition to British rule. King George III reluctantly signs the repeal of the Stamp Act after months of colonial protest and economic boycotts. But tension lingers as British ministers exchange worried glances. The relentless colonial resistance forced the British Parliament to repeal the Stamp Act. But the victory was bittersweet. Parliament passed the Declaratory Act, asserting its right to legislate for the colonies. The seeds of revolution had been sown. The final scene pans across the colonial landscape, showing towns buzzing with renewed energy. The camera focuses on a young printer setting type for a pamphlet, a symbol of the growing revolutionary fervor. The Stamp Act may have been repealed, but its legacy endured. It galvanized the colonies, uniting them in a shared cause and giving rise to a spirit of defiance.